What's going on? So I got a question about foam rolling and just like kind of self-myofascial release stuff in general, but specifically foam rolling for, I guess specifically powerlifting. Was kind of a vague question, but I'm just assuming it's for like squatting, benching, and deadlifting more. I'm a fan, like, I still static stretch before training sessions and stuff. I'm a fan of anything that makes you feel good, as opposed to not doing it and feeling like shit when you go to do whatever you're going to do for your sport, training session, whatever. It works. Like, it doesn't, if you feel worse not doing something, it doesn't matter what, like, research says about it and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of a, I don't know, really stupid anecdotal way to look at it, I guess, but like, you know, I'd rather do something that might not have a lot of evidence that works and feel better than feel like shit and go through and do all my dumb stuff. But some stuff that foam rolling is definitely good for. I mean, as far as like pre-activity warm-up stuff, again, same way I look at static stretching. If you foam roll or you stretch, like just do regular static stretching, as long as you're doing some kind of dynamic work after the fact, you're not going to incur any of the negative things that happen, like all the different stuff about like muscle laxity and decreasing like knee flexion strength by like 8 or 9% or whatever the original study was for static stretching, that people started shying away from it. You don't want to stretch and then jump under a bar. You don't want to foam roll and jump under the bar. You do that stuff as kind of preparatory movement to be prepared to do the rest of your warm-up. And then when you start thinking of it like that, and you actually go through and, you know, do the shit you need to do to be ready to move the way you need to for whatever you're training for, whatever you're doing, it makes a lot more sense and you feel a whole hell of a lot better. So I don't like dismissing anything completely unless it's just absolutely asinine, like rack pulls. But like, yeah, so some of the other, like, for sure concrete benefits in like research and stuff, and I notice a huge just personal difference foam rolling after the fact, like after a training session is over. There's all kinds of neat stuff about like alleviating DOMs and stuff. I read one study one time where they measured vertical jump heights in a bunch of people, and one group just rested, just did like just rest, just sitting in a chair or something, or active rest was another group, and then a third group did foam rolling. So pretty much the other two groups actually had, like, they didn't do as well on their second counter movement vertical jump tests the second time around, but the foam rolling group scored the same. So if you're doing like repeated bouts of stuff, you know, it might be a good idea to like foam roll between lifts at a competition, something like that. Kind of a way to kind of transfer that one to real life. Just that, you know, there's all kind of interesting stuff after the fact. I've read some interesting stuff on just like changing the entire hormonal milieu landscape when you add like the proprioceptive pressure stuff, like triggering like mechanoreceptors from foam rollers after activity releases, just really releases like the tension. It kind of helps return back to like parasympathetic dominance. The one, there's only been one study where gua sha was done on weightlifters that was super interesting. They got all these weightlifters to do all this exhaustive exercise, and then they did, I don't remember if it was self gua sha where they self-administered it. Like, gua sha is scraping therapy. You take a scraping tool and you just dig into the surface of your skin to initiate an inflammatory response, open up capillary beds and stuff, and you know, harness your chi or some shit. I don't have any idea. So it was really interesting because none of their real markers of like strength changed around too much. But the group that did the gua sha therapy felt a whole hell of a lot better. They had less soreness. Their self-reported RPEs were lower. They just felt better. And I forget, I think that was immediately after training, and then they did a session the next day. It was a day or two later. I don't remember. They just felt markedly better. So, you know, it's kind of along the same lines as like cold water immersion, ice baths and stuff like that, which I still do. I love this shit. I feel awesome. You gotta time it right. You gotta do it at the right time. So it might be more appropriate for foam rolling if you're just gonna do that by itself after a workout. You know, any kind of soft tissue stuff after a workout might not be a good idea to like get those tissues loose and then load the shit out of them. It might be a good idea if you've got like you know, recovering from some strains or injuries or something, loosening stuff up, and then working some light stuff through your new range of motion just to kind of get a bigger active range of motion. I mean, that's the basic principle of all of physical therapy and everything. But I'm a fan. I think everybody that, you know, anyone that puts their body through hell or does any kind of physical endeavor at all should probably be doing something to help their body kind of relax, return back to normal. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully all that, I just kind of rambled on for a little bit there. But yeah, thanks for asking.